Passive income ideas 2020 that will make you just that little bit richer. So if this is the first time you come across me, my name is John Lee. I'm the best-selling author of The Business Hack, and my channel is all about creating multiple streams of income and growing and starting businesses. So if you'd like to get more of these videos, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss out on all the new content. So the first idea I have for you for passive income in 2020 is right now you've got a lot of things around you that you could monetize. So for example, maybe a lot of you watching, you've got a car. So one thing you could do is you could actually take your car and then you could become, a part of Uber or Grab, and you can actually monetize your car. You could do things like carpools. If you are, traveling the same location with somebody, you could actually charge them money almost and effectively become their driver. Another thing you could do, like if you know someone's got a luxury car that they're not using, there are lots of these clubs out there where you can find like Lamborghini owners, Ferrari owners, Aston Martin owners. You can literally take those cars, refer them to these people, and they can rent those cars out. And like if you rent Lamborghini, it's like $700-800 a day. Just for, how do I know? Because someone contacted me and said, John, we'd love to take your Lamborghini and then hire it out. But the thing is, I'm a bit funny about people driving my car. So it's kind of like, I don't want people to like rag the car and like accelerate and keep changing gears and ruin the gearbox. So that's why I never opted for that. But for a lot of you, if you know somebody who's got, like a luxury car, or they've got a decent car, you could actually outsource that car to one of these companies and they could actually rent out these cars and you could take a commission. So, and there's also a lot of these websites that do a lot of like car leasing where people actually would lease the car. And so what you can do, you can drive traffic to one of these car companies and you say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna bring you all these people that are gonna take some leases from you. And it's gonna be like, they're gonna take 3-year contracts. And how much percentage can I have from that? So you can take a cut of every person that you refer to this company. So that's one strategy that will make you just that little bit richer. Okay, the second thing you can do is if you've got a property right now that, let's say you have extra rooms that you could actually rent. So you've probably heard of Airbnb. So one of the things that you could do is you could actually take your property that you have and you could actually rent your property out. Or if you don't want to rent your property out, you could actually rent some of the rooms. I know somebody who actually rented the property out. They moved back in with the parents, and that, like literally, those people are now paying off the mortgage on that property. But you think, well, John, I don't want to move back in with my parents. Fine. So one thing that you could do if you want to, again, make that a little bit more money is by renting out a room. So like, for example, I know a lot of friends who live in London who rent out the rooms, and you can charge like £500 to £800 a month just to have, like, if you've got like 5 or 6 rooms, and a lot of people are doing this, they're renting a property out. I'm not saying you should do this because you need to get permission to do this, but another strategy is that people are renting out a property, like a big property, and what they're doing is they actually subletting all the rooms. So all the rooms, let's say they get paid £500 rooms, so they make 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? So you got 2,500 coming in, right? And then maybe your rent is only 1,500. So you're making 1,000 on top. So again, if you're gonna do that, make sure you get permission to do that, because there are some laws around that as well. But that's another thing that you could do. Again, your own house, if you've got a spare room in your house, look, if you can rent it out for $200-300 a month or 500, that could pay for a brand new car, right? So strategy number 2 is you could actually rent out some of the rooms in your property. Okay, number 3, this one's a little bit more advanced, but it can actually help you make a lot more passive income. So there are lots of people out there who have a lot of money sitting in the bank doing nothing. And there are lots of people out there that want to invest in something. So one of the things that you can do, you can actually start your own crowdfunding. Again, there are certain laws on this depending on which country you're in, or there are actually crowdfunding platforms where you can actually refer investors to these crowdfunding platforms where they'll pay you a fee. Right? So it's almost like an affiliate model for finding investors. But one thing you could do, so when I first started in real estate, I would actually partner with like 3 or 4 people, and we'd all put in some money, and then we'd all go buy a house, and then we'd own shares in that house, and whatever income came in, then we'd do a split. Or you could do, instead of doing like a partnership share model, you could actually do sort of, okay, you go to somebody and say, hey, look, I'm buying this property, you pay for the kitchen, you pay for the bathroom, and you pay for the lounge, and you pay for the carpets and whatever. So you could buy the property, you could buy the low price, sell it at a high price, and all those people that gave you the money to crowdfund this property, you pay them the money back, and now you're left with the house that's you can rent out, that's making you money every single month, but you didn't have to put the money into fixing it all up. You actually got those from other people. So you can crowdfund into lots of different strategies, but I can tell you this is one of the best ways, because now you're using the concept of OPM, and OPM stands for other people's money. So give that a try. Crowdfunding is a great strategy if you want to use other and leverage other people's funds. Okay, step number 4, a lot of people do this, and you've probably heard a lot about Bitcoin, you've heard a lot about cryptocurrencies. Again, before you get into this, make sure that you do your research first, or learn from somebody who's actually got great results and done it. The problem with this is, I make it sound like it's, oh, well, you can just easily do this. No, everything requires knowledge. You remember in my previous videos, I talk about you must learn before you earn. You must always be learning before you're earning. Education first, right? Always. So there are lots of places where you can actually trade crypto as well. So you can trade Bitcoin. So you've probably seen the crypto going up and going down. By the way, before you ask, I don't personally do this myself. But again, a lot of you ask for some, John, what passive income ideas do you have that you're doing, or that other people are doing? I just know a lot of my friends are making a lot of money from currencies, because what's happening is they're shorting markets. What shorting means is when a price goes up and then the market crashes. So let's say, for example, right before coronavirus, what do you think happened to the share price? The share price, what do you think happened to the currency? Like this, right? So there are always trends that you've got to look at. So one of the things that you want to consider if you want to make more passive income is get yourself educated in these vehicles or these instruments, and test small first. Warren Buffett says, you never test a pool by jumping in. You test it with your, put your toe in first to see how deep it is, right? So it's the same thing when you're doing crypto, when you're doing Bitcoin, when you're doing currencies, because although I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money, I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money as well. So you've got to be very, very careful there. So again, if you've got some money, and also as well, before you do this, I always say only invest if you can afford to lose it, right? So let's say you invest this much money and it loses. For whatever reason, you say, you know what, it didn't matter. It didn't make an impact to me. But if you've got your last savings left and you start investing it, and if like every day, oh my God, it's going up, don't do it, right? Because you don't want that financial stress. Okay, so give that a shot. And the last strategy, this one I have personally done myself, and I think for most of you watching, this would be a great strategy for you, especially in 2020 and onwards, to actually start getting that little bit more money. So, and by the way, before I tell you this, if you love the content, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications. Don't miss out on all the new content that I'll be producing. So the last strategy is actually using something called lease options. So lease is called rent, right? It's when you rent something, when you lease something. Options is where you have the option to buy, but not the obligation to buy. So I did this first with a lot of properties. I would go and source a lot of properties, and literally I'd have a contract, and I'd have all these terms, and now I would never own the property, but I would control the property. I think it was Rockefeller that says, control everything, own nothing. Because when you own everything, people can take it away from you. When you control things with contracts, then that's a little bit more advanced. So one of the things that you could do is like what I did. I would go out and find all these property deals. I'd have this heads of terms and this options agreement. I would sign this options agreement, and I would agree a certain price, and then I'd go to somebody else and I would sell it to them at a higher price. So let's say a property was worth 100 grand. I would negotiate it to 75,000, and that person said, okay, and the reason why they want to sell at a discount because they want a quick sale. I would then have a list of investors I would go to, and I would sell that contract onto them for say 80,000. So now I'm making an extra 5,000 for this transaction on this contract. So lease options work really, really, really well. In fact, I actually created a video called "How Do Lease Options Work?" So if maybe I'll link it in the description, or I'll link it up here. But if you look at that video's had and I put that video years ago, right? And it's had close to 100,000 views on that video now. But I can tell you that lease options is a great way to start, because you don't have to have a lot of capital. You have to have skill set, and you need to have the contracts in place as well. So I really hope you found these 5 ways to earn passive income in 2020 useful, to earn that little bit more money. And again, if you like this, make sure you hit the like button, because when you like the video, YouTube will show you more of my videos. Hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications. And my question for you is, which one of these 5 strategies will you try? Leave a comment below, and what I'll do is I'll personally come in and answer some of your questions, or just leave a comment below to let me know, what value you got from this and what your biggest aha moment is. This is John Lee, the author of Business Hack. Bye for now.